Strasbourg is the official seat of the European Parliament. Parliamentary committee meetings and some plenary sessions are held in Brussels, while part of Parliament's secretariat is based in Luxembourg. Thanks to the Lisbon Treaty, Parliament now has more power than ever before to shape Europe. Last year, MEPs voted on hundreds of legislative issues which affect every one of us as citizens, workers and consumers. The Lisbon Treaty also gives more rights to European citizens, as the Charter of Fundamental Rights is now binding on all the EU institutions. This obliges them to take proper account of the civil, political, economic and social rights of citizens in all their lawmaking and all their other activities. The last European elections were held in June 2009. Parliament now has 736 members drawn from 100 or so national political parties and organised in 7 political groups. The Lisbon Treaty gives Parliament an enhanced legislative role, bringing around 50 new areas under the co-decision procedure, with Parliament acting on an equal basis with the Council of Ministers, which represents member state governments. Those areas include agriculture, energy security, immigration, justice and home affairs, health and the structural funds. Parliament also has a new role within the EU and its institutions. It approves the President of the European Commission, and the appointment of the EU's Foreign Policy High Representative is also subject to its consent. What's more, Parliament now decides on the entire EU budget, together with the Council. The European Parliament was directly elected for the first time in 1979, and it's now in its 7th term of office since then. The current President of Parliament is Jerzy Buzek, a Polish MEP who belongs to the European People's Party group. He was elected in July 2009. The President oversees all the activities of Parliament and its bodies. He chairs the plenary sessions and represents the institution in all of its external relations, in particular at international level. Parliament regularly plays host to presidents, prime ministers and other distinguished guests from a wide range of countries. Relations with the international community are of prime importance to the European Parliament, which is why it seeks to ensure that the EU plays a more prominent role in foreign affairs. Parliament's members sit in groups set up on the basis of shared political views. The groups operate rather like European political parties, forming alliances and negotiating compromises. As in many national parliaments, the members discuss draft legislation in committee meetings before it's put to the full parliament. These committee meetings are streamed live on the web.
And we are ready to help you.
During plenary sessions, the whole parliament comes together, either in Strasbourg or in Brussels. Plenary sessions are where the most important debates are held and where Parliament votes on legislative proposals and political declarations. Parliament works in the 23 official languages of the European Union. The right of every member to read, write and speak his or her own language is central to the democratic legitimacy of Parliament. In today's enlarged European Union, it is essential for language rights to be upheld. They are a symbol of equality among the member states. A large part of our country's current laws were originally drafted and adopted at European level. Most of the decisions taken by the European Parliament directly affect our day-to-day lives. A good example of this is roaming charges. As a result of decisions taken by Parliament, more than 140 million Europeans who use their mobile phones when travelling in another EU member state now have lower bills. As part of its efforts to uphold the rights of European citizens, Parliament has several times made its voice heard in EU-US relations, such as when it initially rejected the agreement on bank data transfers via the SWIFT network and opposed the deal on air passenger name records. One of the European Union's key challenges is to ensure market efficiency while maintaining the social standards on which our welfare systems and quality of life depend. This is why, when it adopted the Services Directive, which enables service providers to ply their trade anywhere in the European Union, Parliament strove to strike an appropriate balance. MEPs also devote their attention to issues beyond the borders of the European Union. election observation missions and the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought are two examples of Parliament's commitment to upholding human rights and promoting democratic values around the world. In response to the crisis that has shaken the world economy, the EU has worked on a number of measures which require the approval of the European Parliament. These include the Financial Supervision Package, which Parliament adopted with the aim of strengthening checks at European level. For example, there will be direct EU supervision of institutions big enough to have a major effect on the whole financial system. On hedge funds and private equity, Parliament has called for new rules on transparency and the reduction of risks that might jeopardise the EU's real economy. If Europe is to meet the challenges ahead, people and politicians need to work together. The European Parliament is one of the most effective ways for everyone to play a part in EU affairs.